is clean. I man is blooming again. Some might if they care. If they know him. If they want.
Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. Lord Jesus. Good God Almighty. Lord Jesus. Rock my soul. God Almighty. Lord Jesus. Rock my soul. Jesus, you are the man. The waters roll. Jesus, you are
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of you listening wherever you are, locally, regionally, internationally. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, and I'll be here with you up until, well, we hope we can make it to the 10 o'clock hour, but we are operating in different circumstances tonight. We are operating from a different location. Yes, I know it looks the same, but you realize I don't have the mic in front of me and all of that. So we're operating in a different location. We will be operating in a different location for quite a while. It does mean as well that we will, at least tonight, we won't be able to take calls. It is something I am working on to ensure that I will be able to take the calls, and that we will be able to take the calls both online or from WhatsApp and the straight calls, but we have not yet got that part sorted out. So for tonight, you realize I just pulled the scroll off the screen. So for tonight, we will not be able to take the calls. We do apologize during last week because of the fact that we were getting certain things done. We were unable to have a live program last week, Wednesday and Thursday. All right, we'll try to make it up to you this week somehow, but we were unable to have a live program last week, Wednesday and Thursday, simply because we were in the process of organizing. So tonight we're doing the program, but again, we won't be able to take your calls. You realize everything looks a little different tonight, slightly different here tonight. And we're just saying a special good night to all of you, those of you who are joining us. And let me just make sure that I get our friends who are over on Noise Radio and our friends who are over on City Song. Lord my God, City Songs. That I get our friends who are over on Real FM and our friends who are over on Noise Radio, that we get them on with us tonight. So let me just make sure I organize and I get that done right. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I get them on with us so that we will be able to have tonight's conversation. I know quite a few people have been asking, what's up with the program? But we're not hearing you, we're not hearing you, we're not hearing you. You know, sometimes I have other things doing, and from time to time, it does affect our ability to have the program. So I'm just making sure that I get the, yeah, I'm just making sure that I get our friends at Real FM. Yeah, I'm just making sure that I get our friends at Real FM and We Noise Radio on with us. Folks, you can still message me while you may not be able to call in. And as I said, yeah, I know I'm sounding different tonight, yeah, because I'm not in the same location. I am not in the same location and I'm not using the same equipment. But at least I get it to look a little bit like in studio. So you realize I look different and I am sounding different because I'm not in the studio in the yeah. I know it sounds really different. Even the playing music and so on is going to be a bit different for the time being until I settle in and sort things out here in the way that it has to be. All right, folks? So it is Talking Points. We like to say a special good night to those of you listening via Real 91.9, 91.5 FM. Those of you who are joining us via We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. All of you who are jumping in one after the other on the live. I see you all jumping in on the live there. Yes, I say a special good night to each and every one of you. Those of you who are listening also on Facebook, I want to say a special good night to you. And let me make sure I put this here in a proper way so that I can see all the messages coming in from you all, both on Facebook and on the WhatsApp. Yeah, so just to let you all know, the program will be a little different for a period of time. Yeah, because I'm not in the normal location. Read between the lines. I'm not in the normal location. And as such, I have to do with a kind of makeup thing. But I decided that rather than try and get it absolutely perfect and not do a program for the next week or two, let me work with what I have. At least I can get the program going in the meantime while I sort out the one or two other aspects to make sure that one, because you know the program is about interaction and we have to be able to interact with you. We have to be able to get the calls and get the calls on the WhatsApp and the calls on the overseas line and everything. For the interim, you all are going to have to settle with messaging me. And you know the number to message me on 440-7377 for those of you who are overseas. That's 1473-440-7377. You can WhatsApp us on that number and I will get your message and so on. But for the time being, you'll have to drop your messages in the box. Yeah. You'll have to drop your messages in the box for us. All right. So yes, indeed, it is talking points, and tonight is real talking points because I can't even say what I'm going to play a set of music tonight or anything like that. It's going to be a lot of more talking points tonight. We are more going to be talking tonight than anything else. So, folks, it's always wonderful to be here with you. And again, we apologize for last week. It was unavoidable. I did try to have a program on both days, even though that I was not in studio. I tried to have pre-recorded programs on both days. In both instances, it did not work out. You know, the technology gives its problems when it can. When it feels like it, it's always ready to give a problem. Yeah, you all realize I'm not even wearing headphones, so I can't hear. I can't even hear myself. I know it's sounding different because I'm in a different room. I'm not in the normal small studio. I'm in a bigger location and everything. So I know it sounds different and everything. But indeed, we are here. We made sure that we're going to do a program tonight because there are a lot of things to talk about. And indeed, yeah, we're going to get started with that in a short while. Let me see if I can find, a piece of music here still while, let me see if I can get a piece of music to come on there while I make sure I have everything in order. Right, so I think I have it as good as we're going to get it for tonight. Again, we do apologize for the quality of the sound, all of that. Again, we're using different equipment. We are not in the normal location. Yes, the background is the same. I know how to do that wherever I am. So the background is the same, but you realize the audio is different. The look is a bit different, everything. Because we are not in the normal location that we are. So let me just say a special good night to those of you on the Facebook. Let me see who is there. Nurse Wendy Ann McGuire, I see you're in. Linda Imelda Francois. I don't know when last I see your name in the chat. I know you did, but I don't know when last I see your name in the chat. Ingrid Bourne, Cynthia B. Etta Batiste, good night to you. Dr. Love, good night to you, bro. McLean Mitchell, Nessa Sinclair, Joan Henry, good night. Sherms Houston, a lovely good night to you, my dear. And Enid Dakota, John Mark, Norman Noel, Esther Peter, Sherry Lambert, Landon Jane, Leroy St. Paul, Lynn Joseph, I see you there, Errol Bonaparte, Ansel Landy, Valma McIntosh, Marilyn Ferguson, good night to you. Cynthia Collins, good night. Betty Ann Murray Ventura, good night. Laslyn Douglas, Olive McEwen, I see you in. Betty James, Landon Jane, Charmaine Ragbasing, Antonito, good night, bro. And Laslyn Douglas, Small Axe, what go, bro? Well, me and you have to talk soon enough because I have to get some of the honey again, boy. I'm running low on my honey supply. Angus George, Dana Abraham, good night to you. Jamari Auntie, Latoya Maguire, Sandra Lewis, Wallan Aquat, and let me see who else is there. Williams Anthony, yeah, Sandra Lewis, I see you in the chat there. So a special good night to you, and I have to go to this site to see who is on the YouTube. Let me see the YouTube. Moko Joseph, you're the first name among someday. Moko Pen! I never say Moko Joseph, I have to call out Moko Pen at the same time. Yes, indeed. And Vanessa Lalji, Ruth Chitterman, let me see, Maud Martin, good night to you. Adrian Watts, Julian Noel, Gavin Thomas, Vanessa Lalji, Faithlyn Hallie Douglas, Janice Mitchell, Velma Pascal, Francis George, Anastasia Buckmeyer, J.C. Sherry, Kathleen Ledlow, Carib Spice Fitness, Trajan John, Dolores Redhead, John Stafford, Joycelyn Francois, Deborah Laborde, good night to you. Jackie Raymond, Anne-Marie Grant, Sky, Errol Bonaparte, Sherma, Jeremiah, and Zayla, Dalma Scott, Cynthia Bartholomew, Rosalind Jones, Byron Frank, Jenny Samuel, good night to you, Jenny. Cindy Thomas, Listra Abraham, Anna Lewis, Winnie Simon, Dalton Strawn, Teresa Joseph, Clive Raymond, and I think I missed out somebody then. Winnie Simon, good night to you. Earl Benjamin, Fitzroy Edwards, Fitzy! Fitzy, good night, bro. Yeah, Jerome Kenneth Lewis, Veronica Lewis Alexander, Agnes Henry, Gillian Williams, Andra Burke, Michelle Alexander, and Andrew Shuma Fletcher, good life. Shuma Alexander, Kathleen Knights, Dennis Donnells. You know those two Shermas always come in, two of them Shermas always come in close to each other for some reason. Erlen Moraine, John Baptiste, Raphael Joseph, I see you there as well. Patrick Roberts, April Fletcher, Augustine Bridgman, Dominic Antwine, Tonelus Williams, Donna Hamilton. Good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you all have been having a fabulous week thus far and that you've had a wonderful weekend. Remember, just now, in fact, the voters list should be out very soon, because remember, and then they should have a new voters list. Remember, we have to canvass the voters list. Go over the voters list with a fine-tooth comb. We must go over the voters list properly. If we do not do our work, when the time comes, we'll find ourselves in problem. Don't let your constituency be the constituency that keeps the new National Party in opposition. Because the NDC only has one political organization that it is up against. Any other political organization you're hearing about there is working along with the NDC. Because the things that they do, the things that they say, and the things that they have planned all point towards them working with the NDC. So don't watch people and feel that, oh, they're coming to do something and they're coming to do something out of... There seems to be a lot of, and I'll put it like this, from certain elements, and I won't say it's from all of them, there seems to be a certain level of malice in the operations of some of them. And again, I'm not saying it's in all of them. There's a certain level of malice in what I listen to them carefully. I hear what some of them say. And you realize that they can have no interest because they know as a separate political organization without the base of the two major political parties in Grenada, there is no path to any of them, including their leader, winning their seat. None of them. They could bring whoever they want, whether they want to bring them from overseas or whether they want to drag them from local, because I hear some names for some people locally who they have been approaching. And it's very interesting to hear the list of people that they have been approaching. But again, the problem remains that unless they have the support, and I'll say it again, I know some of them don't like to hear it, unless they have the support of a major political party in Grenada, the base, the NNP has its base of how much thousand? The NDC has its base of how much thousand? Unless that so-called third party, which I call the NDC in waiting, could break the base of either party, and it has not broken the base of the National Democratic Congress, and it has not broken the base of the New National Party. The base of the New National Party remains. If you come with some people and you go with them, that is not the base is still there. So they have not broken the base. They did not run in 2013 because they knew that without the support of a major political party, they could not win. So they did not run in 2013 because of that. And they know very well that as long as they continue on the present trajectory, there is no chance of them winning the seat, much less anybody else that they put up. In fact, they run the risk of losing their deposits. And I'm saying it for what it's worth, because while they are unable to win on their own, these individuals, if they continue doing the things that they do, will be assisting the NDC to win certain seats. If they continue, they will not, definitely will not be helping the new national party, but they will be helping the NDC to attempt to win certain seats. The end game being, if NNP wins 7 seats and NDC wins 7 seats, you need 1 more seat to form the government. And if they are able to get the support of the NDC in order to win that particular seat, and I've seen it happen in different countries. I've seen it happen, for instance, in St. Lucia in the 2021 general election in St. Lucia. There were 2 candidates that ran as quote-unquote independents. That was Mr. Richard Frederick and former Prime Minister Stephenson King. Former Prime Minister Stephenson King left the UWP right after the elections were called. The election were called one day, he resigned the next day and said he ran an independent. But he ran independent with the support of the opposition party. In other words, they did not put a candidate against him. They asked all their supporters to support him. And that is exactly what took place. Their supporters supported him. He was able to secure the seat. The same thing with Mr. Richard Frederick. While he said he was an independent, he ran because he formerly was a UWP minister years back. He ran independent, well, so-called independent, but he ran independent with the support of all the people who were members of the opposition party. They didn't run a candidate against these 2 independent candidates. So don't be surprised if in the town of St. George you realize that the NDC does not run a candidate. And when you see that, know that it is part of a plan. Or that they run a candidate who showed they intend to cut anyway, and then while they're running that candidate and that candidate beating themselves up all over the place, they tell the people, no, vote for this person instead, because this person is helping us to secure seats here, there, and everywhere. Because you and I know, and I think everybody knows, that as it is right now, the National Democratic Congress can't run back most of the candidates that they have. And if they try to run them back, they know very well what is going to happen. The candidates for themselves know that they can't run again. And that's why you see certain behaviors among some of them. There are some of them that up to this day refuse to show up in their constituency. They refuse. It's like it's the year 2020 and the constituency office have COVID, or the constituency have COVID. There are certain MPs within the ruling administration that are afraid to go in their own constituency. You don't see them. Those who would have disappeared for the last 1,000+ days, those who have disappeared going on 3 years now, have suddenly realized that elections, the next general elections in Grenada, are closer than the last general elections were. And when I say closer, I'm not talking in terms of numbers, because they're getting real licks this time. But it is closer in terms of time. They have long passed the halfway mark. The part here they're just talking about the just making. No, they passed the halfway mark since December. Since December, they've had less time in office, December 23rd, since that day, they've had less time in office remaining than they have had in office already. So Grenada is closer to the next general election than it is from the last general election. And you see things happening, you see certain things happening. You realize certain MPs suddenly remember that they have a constituency. You see certain MPs suddenly reaching by all around shop, ice cream shop, drafts, board, anything they could find in the constituency, because they just remember that there are people within that constituency. You see many of them attempting to do little projects within the constituency now, because again, it is closer to election than it is from the last election. So they are scurrying around now like headless chickens. I'm going to talk about chickens in a while. They are scurrying around now like headless chickens, trying to see now how they can get the vote from the people again. So while they are doing that, the new National Party is doing its work by going around constituency to constituency and doing the political work that is necessary. Yeah, the NNP continues to do the political work that is necessary. And you have the third party that's doing the political work that they believe is necessary, and I don't hold it against them. If they want to be a political party, go ahead and do it. All the more the merrier. Yeah, if you beat them 2 instead of 1, I don't mind. So if they want to come with a third party, all well and good. But the only thing, the only intention is spiteful in my view of some of them. And you know, I'm saying this in context of something I saw today, where they have started a narrative in relation to the St. Andrew Southeast seat. And let me say to the people of St. Andrew Southeast, protect your leader. Let me warn you all, protect your leader. Some of the people who have been around, we thank them for the time that they've been around. We don't hate them. We don't despise them. We understand where they are right now, but we ain't following them. We are not following them. To the people of St. Andrew Southeast, protect your leader. Yeah? Because the intention of these individuals is because who they wanted to become the leader of the party did not become the leader of the party. And she has ascended to the leadership of the new national party. The intention of these people is to try to make her lose the seat. And that's out of spite and out of part of the plan to ensure that the NDC can secure 7 seats. That's part of the plan. They want St. Andrew Southeast. Because they believe that St. Andrew Southeast is what you would call in political science a marginal. And they believe that if they do enough work there, they'll be able to topple the political leader of the new national party. And I'm saying here tonight that the job of you all in St. Andrew Southeast is to protect your leader. You're supposed to be doing your canvassing. You know what you have to do. Yeah? Protect your leader. And don't go dancing in another constituency. And you learn to dance in your own and fix your own first. And that goes not just for St. Andrew Southeast, that goes for all the other constituencies as well. Don't go playing big political bargain and you're leaving your constituency and go in the next constituency to fight and you ain't sort out yours. So when election day come, problems in your constituency, and you're saying, if you had known, you're supposed to know if you're living there, you're voting there, you are from there. If that is your constituency, you're supposed to know what is going on. And you're supposed to help address those issues, whatever they are, in that constituency. So don't go saying, if I had known, make sure you do. Shane Ross, good night to you. Atiba, Haley Irasta. Louis out there in Carriacou, good night to you. And Jocelyn, the Mathesons out there in Carriacou, Mr. and Mrs. Matheson, good night to you. So I'm saying this to everybody. Don't play you leaving your constituency and you say you're running up to Carriacou because you want to help Carriacou and you leave your constituency undone. Each man mark the man. This is like a game of football. Mark your man or woman. Mark them. Make sure you get the job that has to be done. And I assure you that once we do the work that has to be done in the way that it has to be done, that when the time comes, we will be ringing the bells of victory as the new national party. Don't play with this third party thing. The third party only thing is to be a spoiler. Look, years ago, I'm trying to remember the exact election in Trinidad. There was a general election, there was a split within the opposition UNC. Part of the UNC went and formed a party called the COP, the Congress of the People, under a gentleman by the name of Winston Ducaran. So Mr. Winston Ducaran, who was very popular within the UNC, took some supporters, he left, and he went and he created another political party called the Congress of the People, the COP. It still exists. They are contesting elections as part of a coalition this time around. When he did that, the election that came when he did that, the first election that came when he did that, not only did every one of his candidates lose, none of them win, but the party that they came from, the UNC, that party lost and remained in opposition as well. And when you check the numbers, you recognize that if the people who were in the COP had stayed with the UNC would have been in office. They would have been in office. But in key constituencies, the COP was able to take enough votes away from the UNC that they caused the UNC to lose. And I'm using that example to let some of you, if you like what's going on right now, and you don't mind the NDC remain in power, go ahead with this third party thing. But once you believe that at this stage, at this point in time, that Grenada needs better, once at this point in time you believe that Grenada needs competent leadership, people who know how to negotiate, people who know people within the international community, a team of people that could pick up the phone and call somebody right now in the State Department to address a particular issue as it affects Grenada, who don't have to sit and wait and say, well, we're waiting to see if they write us, but somebody who would contact somebody and be able to contact somebody directly and deal with the issues as they are. Yeah? We have to ensure that when the election comes, because we see what's going on in the world right now, For those of you that follow the stock market, it's basically like a crisis situation. This thing is like 2008 and 2001 all rolled into one. Total financial chaos, which is exactly how dear President Trump likes it. He ain't like quiet. That man, he like things, shake it up. He don't like to wake up and things, if he wake up and things too quiet, he go release, they don't call it Twitter again, I think that's called X or whatever now. He releases a message or something just to create a news story. He doesn't like quiet. Yeah? But he is also doing what he believes in his heart he has to do for the American people. Nothing he is doing is not what he promised. He promised he's doing all of that. Who wanted to listen, listen. Who didn't want to listen, that is the business. But everything he's doing now are the same things that he promised he would do. And the deleterious effect on the Caribbean region is of no concern to him. Let me repeat that. The deleterious effects on the Caribbean, on our economies, in the Caribbean region, and on our societies, is of no concern to him. When the Americans have a general election, when they have their elections to elect a president and so on, you don't see ballot boxes in Grenada, you don't see ballot boxes in St. Kitts or Dominica or Trinidad or wherever. You don't see ballot boxes in these places. The ballot boxes are in the US, unless it's a mail-in ballot, but that's another story. But the ballot boxes are in the US, and they are for US citizens. Therefore, the outcome of those elections, as far as the US citizens are concerned, and I know we have many Caribbean citizens there who are upset, they did not vote for this, they don't like it, whatever. But he is doing what he says he would do. As such, understanding that, and not staying down here and just cuss and say all kind of nasty things about him and the US government and all of that. Instead of doing that, what our countries need to be doing is putting things in place to protect ourselves. What our countries within the region need to be doing is joining together, strengthening the bonds of things like Carriacou and the OECS, and stop looking at them as though they are talk shops. And the only government in Grenada that had the ability to make a serious impact, whether it be in the OECS or Carriacou, has been the new National Party. The only government, the only political party with members, past and present, within it right now, who could pick up the phone and call 3 or 4 prime ministers in the region, who could pick up the phone and call people within the US government, call people within the British government, call people all over the world, is the new National Party. Meanwhile, we have a government here that's trying to distance themselves from a Nigerian lady who we have on video dancing with the prime. All you can't distance all yourself. How them was close, the breeze couldn't pass. All you can't distance all yourself from that lady as much as you want. We come into she in a while to chicken and she. Yeah, no, not chicken for sheep. Chicken and sheep. We come into that in a while. Don't worry, we ain't forget. Yeah? But I'm saying all of this to say there is no possibility of a third party doing anything. And I know they don't like when I say, oh, you could call Shaggy tomorrow, or you could call wherever all you want tomorrow. I ain't really care. And all you know me, I know all you, and all you know. I ain't afraid and I don't care. I'm saying it as it is because it is the truth. That the only thing a third party will be doing is handing an election to the NDC. That is why, understanding that, because again, they have been doing their polling. They have been doing their polling. All political parties do their polling. All, including the NNP, all political parties do their polling. They have been doing their polling. And their polling continues to show certain things. So they are pushing possibilities. I'm talking about the NDC here. They are pushing possibilities by having their people support the idea of a third party in the race. So when you see people like Ian Django Thomas was up and down all over radio and TV and all kind of thing, getting involved in the NNP internal elections, making statements about how much people will be leaving and all this kind of thing. It is because embedded within there is the concept of let us create chaos and confusion within the other party and that we can win an election by default. Because you listen to the commentators of the NDC, you see the online comments if you are so inclined. I don't see them because I don't bother to read stupidness. I ain't have time for that. I'll pick up my Bible and read. I don't have time to read stupidness. Yeah? I'll pick up a dictionary and read. I'll learn something. Right? But you realize that they are more prone on attacking the new National Party. Imagine, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell is no longer the political leader of the new National Party, is no longer the leader of His Majesty's opposition, but yet still, I don't know if they're getting paid $1 each time they attack him or they say something, because some of them must be very rich, because like they wake up in the morning with Dr. Mitchell on their mind, they go through the work day if they're working with Dr. Mitchell on their mind, they're going home in the evening with him on their mind. The evening time, they sit down and to relax with their family or somebody on their mind. And in the night time, while they're sleeping, like they're dreaming about him. Because they're always on him. But understand where they're coming from. These individuals saw the same Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell come back from 4 seats, keep his 4 seats, and take 11 from them. So they know once he's involved in the politics at any level, he doesn't have to be the leader, you know. But they know that once Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell is involved in politics at any level, that they have to look out. They know he's a master strategist. They know he's a political grandmaster. And they know that he has a very wide following throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and even the rest of the region. I can tell you that as a fact. So they know. So as far as they're concerned, if they can diminish him as much as possible, they'll continue to try to diminish him. We're speaking facts tonight. We ain't postulating. These are facts. So their attack on him has been constant. I don't know which party told them that he wanted to remain and that he wanted to stay. And this, I don't know which part of that, but that's the story that they keep pushing all the time. But they are afraid. Imagine a man do your political party that. Yeah? In 1999, he gave all such a licking, all you had to go and find people to bring in to create a party. Yeah? All you beat him, he take arrest in 2008, he come back in 2013, he take all your seats. All your 11, he take all, he take. He only none for all you. That is why you're only talking about 15 seats. No, you could never, will never get it because you all don't have it in you. But they want to replicate what he has done. And you see other prime ministers in the region, you hear Skerritt talking about it, although he has problems right now. You hear Pierre talking about it, he has problems right now too. But all of them want, I want to have 15 seats like Keith Mitchell. I want all the seats like Keith Mitchell. I want all the seats like Grenada. The only person who has been able to do it thus far has been Mia Motley. All the rest of them only wishing. Only wishing. But the calculation by the NDC in Grenada is that if they can get enough people to fall into this grand illusion of a third party, that they would be able to somehow upset the apple cart in constituencies that they have never been able to do it before, and in constituencies that they consider to be marginal. So they will usefully use who they have to usefully use. Yes, the NDC will usefully use who they have to usefully use to try and achieve that objective. Yeah? They will try that to achieve that objective. Somebody's telling me, I'm a bit dark, I know. Yeah, because I'm not in the usual location. I don't have my usual lights and things. So you may have been late to the party tonight. But as I said a little earlier, we're not in the normal setting tonight. Yeah, we're not in the normal setting tonight. And let me see them likes go up to 200. Yeah, we're not in a normal setting tonight. You realize no music, not even a scroll on the screen. Yeah, I could put a scroll and I could put a scroll, but then people won't call, and I am unable to take calls tonight. At the location I am working on being able to take those calls. I have to make a little run tomorrow, get one or two bits and pieces of equipment, but if I don't know where to go to get that, but one or two pieces of equipment so that I can be able to take the phone calls from you all. At least if I can take the WhatsApp calls, I know that would leave a lot of folks happy, much less the straight line call, because I'm not in the location where the straight lines are. So it's a bit difficult to get those calls, but I have something in mind that just might work to be able to get those straight line calls. I just have to get one or two things, and I should be able to take the straight line calls as well. Yeah, don't worry, man. We understand the technology and how to utilize it. Yeah, folks. So again, just as we end on that particular one, be careful with this talk about third party. They could push it as much as they want. That is their right. They are born Grenadians, the neighbor Stringberry here. They have a right. They could form whichever political organization they want. They can push whichever narrative they want. It's supposed to be a free country. You're supposed to be able to say whatever you want to say once it's within the legal bounds. So nothing is wrong with them pushing their agenda. Nothing is wrong with them having their activities. But understand the overall objective and understand in the political science where that organization is headed. If you check the electoral office and you see the list of political parties that are registered there, I'm sure it probably have about 20 different political parties registered there. Ask me where all of them is now. Ask me where are they now. So that's just ending on that particular one. Also, this morning someone sent me a video from yesterday's Bob report. Unfortunately, due to activities that I'm involved in, I was unable to listen or follow the Bob report yesterday. I'd probably do so tonight in its entirety. But on the Bob report, there was the CEO of the CBI, they could call it IMA, wherever they want. There was the chairperson, or the CEO, not the chairperson, chairpersons of the board. This is the CEO of the IMA speaking on the issue of the Nigerian lady who is wanted by police in Nigeria for questioning, excuse me, who is wanted in Nigeria for questioning in relation to alleged wrongdoing. And again, I continue to say alleged wrongdoing because I want to perfectly and properly distance myself from the behavior of those within the other party, the NDC. Because something like this, they would have been beaten drum every single morning on every radio program, accusing the new National Party of having brought a criminal to Grenada. They would have been on every internet forum speaking about CBI and how CBI this and CBI that, and they would have been making statements and saying that how we need to get rid of CBI and then NP corrupt and all this sort of thing. But in this instance, The same cabinet of ministers, these are the people that attended the woman's multi-million-dollar birthday bash. That possibly, if what the Nigerian authorities are saying is true, that the monies used for that were corruptly gained, if what they are saying is true. And they were the ones that were there eating caviar and shrimps, drinking expensive champagne and dancing the night away, jam up close with her. And I'm hearing talk, and I'd like the government to confirm if it is so or not, that this lady is carrying a diplomatic passport. I'm also hearing that there is the possibility that Mr. Dangote is also carrying a Grenadian diplomatic passport. So I think we need to hear, probably they need a, probably we need a press conference in relation to this issue, because I'm hearing that, just making a note of something I had to mention here as well. I'm hearing that there's a possibility that Mr. Dangote is carrying not just a Grenadian passport, but a diplomatic passport. I'm hearing that the same Aisha, I think is her name, is carrying not just a Grenadian passport, but a diplomatic passport. And if this is so, I think it is only fair that the Grenadian people be availed of such information. Good night to you, Joyce. Yeah, I think it is only fair that the Grenadian people be properly availed of the information, if indeed it is so that this lady is carrying a Grenadian diplomatic passport. We know what took place with diplomatic passports before, which is why Grenada stopped doing that. Yeah, I know a certain man who is senior within the NDC right now. His problem with Dr. Mitchell was that he didn't get a diplomatic passport. Can't tell me a lie. I was there when he was talking about it. Cannot tell me a lie. I was there when the complaint was made about not being given a diplomatic passport. I was there when Dr. Mitchell said, you can't have the diplomatic passport, but I will make certain arrangements for you so that we can assist with the situation that the individual was in at the point in time. But they didn't want that. They wanted a diplomatic passport. Well, they get a diplomatic passport under this administration. So, but I'm hearing that when it comes to these two individuals, that the possibility is high that both of them are carrying diplomatic passports. I'd like to hear a response in relation to that from the present administration. Then, in listening to Mr. Thomas, something else, or the other, I can't remember, some kind of else. Yeah, Mr. Thomas, whatever. He was saying that this lady applied in 2021, which would be during the period of the New National Party, that she applied in 2021, and that after applying in 2021, she was approved in late 2021 by under the time of the former administration. Now let me explain this, because I see Ron Redhead making a total idiot of himself on this particular issue, bending over backwards and patting his own behind in an attempt to give the impression that he knows of what he speaks, which he does not. You can't escape this one, Ron. You cannot escape it. Because the signature on the citizenship certificate of the said individual who is wanted in Nigeria right now is not Dr. Keith Mitchell, it is Deacon Mitchell. Let's just clarify that. The signature on the citizenship certificate of Aisha, yes, the Nigerian lady who all went over on the island with Alan G and all these people and them, no, not Grenada Alan, not that Alan, no. The original, the one who does this thing and all, yeah, that one. No, he doesn't play, he does play, yeah. The signature on her citizenship certificate is the present Prime Minister of Grenada, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, not Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. At the point in time of her receiving the OK, which is the committee, that's not cabinet. You don't know much about cabinet. They kick you out of that early, so I could understand where you're getting some problems there. At the point in time, that you all are claiming that she was approved, because I still kind of in trust that timing. But anyway, you all are claiming that she was approved by the CBI committee, because this is the process. Let me explain the process when somebody has to get a CBI passport to you all. The person applies, the marketing agents and so get involved, right? You apply through a local agent. Right? The local agent makes your application for you here. The CBI committee would review your information, your banking information. Is this a person who owe a pile of money all over the place and they can't pay? Are they corrupt? Are they having a lot of money coming into their accounts they cannot account for? All these things. The CBI committee, right, would also ensure that you do due diligence on the individual. So you would contact the person's home country and any other country that they have relations with. Because you have some people that may be from one country but living in the next one, and they also have relations, they have businesses in different countries. So the committee, working along with international agencies, Interpol, working along with the American FBI and so on, British Scotland Yard, and working along with the different entities, the law entities within the country that the person is based, would also get the all clear from them. So if at that point in time in 2021, you all are saying she was approved during the period of the new National Party, it is not the cabinet that approved her. Let me repeat that. It is not the new National Party cabinet that approved her. It is the CBI committee that approved her. And when the CBI committee approved her, there were, and let me say this clearly so you could understand, there were no allegations against her. There was no investigation taking place with her. There was nothing taking place negatively with this lady. Let me repeat. At the point in time that you're saying that the CBI committee, during the period of the new National Party, approved an application for this lady, there was no investigation taking place in relation to her. And I know where I'm going with this. There was no investigation taking place. There were no red flags in relation to this lady. Everything came up clean. She was not issued a certificate. Why was she not issued a certificate? Because after approval by the committee, this thing would have to go to cabinet. But she would also have to pay monies into one of the approved projects here in Grenada to obtain her citizenship. And still, during that period, another round of due diligence would be done on her. Now, there's the allegation that some person in Nigeria absconded with her money that she gave to that individual to pay for the project here in Grenada so that she could become a citizen of Grenada through the CBI. That person absconded with the money, and then it took how much months into 2022 so that she could actually try to track down the person and get the money. She wasn't able to get back her money, and then she ended up taking out money of her own again and use. She was using her money in the first place, and she took out more money to use to pay for the thing. By that period in time, the new National Party was out of office. The NDC administration was in office. 6 months had already elapsed since the approval by the CBI committee. Remember, by this time, we ain't talking nothing about Dr. Mitchell and NNP cabinet, because these things must go up to cabinet. But we ain't talking about Dr. Mitchell and NNP cabinet or anything. At this point in time, we are still speaking here. We are still speaking here about during the period of the NNP, but it didn't reach to Dr. Mitchell and them. So at that point in time, even though the committee approved, the cabinet didn't approve. The Minister of National Security didn't approve and sign off on that. So it was a situation where the new Minister of National Security approved the citizenship certificate of this lady, approved it, and who was that? That is Deacon Mitchell and his cabinet. They were the ones that approved the citizenship of this lady. She received her certificate, and from a certificate, you get your citizenship certificate. You can use that then to get your passport. The citizenship certificate is signed by the Minister of National Security, who in this instance is Deacon Mitchell, not Dr. Keith Mitchell. That didn't reach to Dr. Mitchell and them because the monies were never paid for the project during the period of the New National Party. But the law states in relation to CBI, and I'm sorry I'm not in a normal situation where I can pull up things and show you. But the law states, in a situation like this, you had to go over the process with this lady again because 6 months had elapsed. If a person is approved by the Grenada CBI committee, and within 6 months, the process for that person, the payments of the money and so on, for them to be finally approved through the cabinet, receive their citizenship certificate, and then go forward to receive their passport. If that doesn't take place within 6 months, that person basically has to go through the process again. It seems as though in this case, that was not done. It seems as though in this case, this lady was allowed to go through at a point in time when the CBI committee, the NDC CBI committee now we're talking about, knew that there was an active investigation that involved her. They knew. I listened to Thomas talk, and he said that they knew that her name was involved in an investigation that was taking place. Yet still, they approved her, sent her stuff up to the cabinet to have it signed by the present Prime Minister so that she could receive her certificate. Don't try and distance yourself from this. At the point in time for the approval during the period of the New National Party, it did not involve the cabinet. It involved the CBI committee. They did their work properly. There was no case against that woman at that point in time. There was no investigation with that lady's name in 2021. It was the responsibility of the present CBI committee, yeah, Richard and all of them. It was the responsibility of that CBI committee to review the application of this individual because 6 months had lapsed. It was their responsibility to go over the entire process, and it was their responsibility after knowing full well that that lady was under investigation, they went ahead and they gave her a certificate. Don't distance all yourself. Don't try that one. Yeah? And they'll call the numbers and say, call them. I forget I'm not in studio. Yeah. And then they say to call. Well, you see, it is. Yes, and someone is asking, yes, I know I look different and everything tonight because I'm not in a normal studio tonight. Yeah, folks. It is a situation that they are trying to distance themselves. You can't distance yourself from that one, Papa. Everybody see you. That's all your friend. Yeah, that's all your friend. Right? And again, even though I'm saying all of this, I'm not saying that the woman is guilty or anything. I don't know. She's accused of there are millions, probably billions of people that have been accused of stuff before. And in fact, I don't think it's of a human being that hasn't been accused of stuff that they didn't do. So you have the situation. Where she is accused. And again, as I keep saying, I ain't going and do like some other people that do. Oh, she guilty, she this, she that. No. She's accused of something. She is considered a fugitive by the Nigerian authorities. And we do hope that at some point she returns to Nigeria and clear her name. So then she could come down to Grenada and give some more school bags and some scholarships and so on. And help out some more poor people children here in Grenada with clean money. Yeah? So we do hope that she is able to do that. Right? Listen, I'm so accustomed to when I make a point to open the phone lines and say call. But these people ducking from the thing, don't duck. Because I see you all ducking from, because I know what you all planning behind this one. We already read the play, so we know what you all planning behind this one. Yeah, to say that all these things they were there from the period that no, 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 no. You have the responsibility to review them, especially since you had a new committee. And if you have a new committee, if you didn't just use all the same people that were there before and you bring a new committee, it may be that you considered that there was some flaw with the committee that the new National Party had in place. So if the new National Party had a committee in place, you take out the people from the committee that the new National Party had and you put in who you want on the committee. Then if I were you in a leadership position, one of the first things I would do is make sure that I review what the last committee did. Anything that was outstanding, I wouldn't just rubber stamp it. I would go through it and say, okay, this one is okay, that one is okay, the other one is okay. I would review, because it was the same prime minister that stood up accusing the new National Party of wrongdoing in the CBI program. And by extension, implicating those who were working within the CBI program of the same. But now we hear him talk about who. I see a post there for the weekend, me, Papa, you can see all you have to do it, me. About two man asking back for money for diplomatic pass. Me. They talk about NNP, yeah? But me, I don't take in part. Put it out. Don't just talk about it. Put it out. Let Grenadians see. Yeah? Put it out. Let Grenadians see what is taking place. Cassie, put it out. And they say they want to jail you. Put it out. Yeah. Don't take your data as sheep. Put it out. Yeah? Yes, indeed, folks. So for those of you that are just joining us, just to let you all know that I am not in studio. I am not in the normal studio tonight, but decided that we must have a program tonight. We did not have programs Wednesday, Thursday, and we don't do the Friday programs for now. We don't do the Friday programs. We will be returning with the Friday programs when everything settles and they start to hear me normally again. You will be seeing the Friday program coming back. We already have a backlog of stuff that we have to bring and show you on a Friday night. So that is there. And again, let me say a special good night to the lady who was the brainchild of the Friday night program, although she wanted it on a Wednesday, I think. But that's her brainchild. She said, boy, sheldon, go and find all them stuff that NNP do before and show it. Right? So that's our Friday night programs will be returning soon. At the location I am right now, I don't have access to my files. So, but we will be ensuring that that is done. All right? So, folks, yeah. And as I said, you can WhatsApp me if you have your questions, your concerns, and so on. You can send them on WhatsApp to me at any point in time. You can send those messages to me on WhatsApp. Yeah, folks, I wanted to, let me see if I could get this to come up, boy. Let me see if I could get anything to work kind of close to how it does normally work. Let me, where's that? Yeah, I think I might be able to get it to work, Right, I think I have. Let me see if that works here. Oh boy. Why are you doing that to me? Why are you doing that to me now? Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get my screen to come up. I usually get it to come up. And so nice. Yes, I just wanted to let you all know an important piece of information. Yeah, and I'll bring it up like this. Yes. You all would remember this young man, yeah, that is our Kelvin. So Kelvin has gone to Martinique. In fact, he should be back in Grenada now. He came back over the weekend. Kelvin has gone out to Martinique. They have done a battery of tests on Kelvin, and he is cancer-free. Yeah? So, I don't know what took place, but he does have certain issues which I am not at, I ain't allowed to talk about those. But just to let you all know that he is cancer-free. So they did the various tests. Let me say cancer-free so far because they've got to do, there's some tests that they still have remaining that they must do to finally confirm. Because what they were seeing before were pointing towards that. And what they've been able to do so far, the tests so far have come back very positive. There are one or two that are remaining that they have to complete and so on. But so far, so good. It's you all, the Talking Points family, that came together along with many other Grenadians, the Marquis and all these people up there in St. Andrew Northeast, all of you who passed by and drop a little something in the box when the meetings and so took place, were able to assist and get this child out to receive the medical care that he needed to get, right? So I was contacted a couple of days ago and was told that the prognosis is very positive. They're not seeing what they suspected was there, why he was sent. They're not seeing that he has that, but there's another issue that has to be addressed. But when it comes to the leukemia, they are not finding leukemia. So I don't know, some real pray to us, so I don't know if the prayers that help or what it is that help. But whatever it is, we have to make sure we do that again. Yeah, because they check and yeah, all right. Yes, indeed, folks. But outside of that, oh, I forgot to remind you all of these, you know. Yeah, the brunch, the NNP Carriacou and Petit Martinique New York chapter, they're having their spring brunch. Remember, that's coming up on the 13th of April. So that's coming up on Sunday coming. Yeah, this Sunday coming. That's starting at 1 p.m. at 302 East 91st Street between Lennox and Clarkson. And of course, music by DJ Gemini Songs. Price $30. And look, what you get? You get fried fish, chicken, pork, cuckoo roll, rice, macaroni pie, Soraka style to what you get, real thing. So you can contact Jacinta at 917-615-4918, Wilson at 917-754-1319, Nisha at 347-681997, and Carlos at 718-813-6712. So that's the Carriacou and Petit Martinique New York branch. They have that activity coming up. Then remember the brunch. Yes, the New York support group, they've got their brunch that's coming up with all types of food and so on. And they're starting from 10 a.m. until you say when. Same location, 302 East 91st Street between Lennox and Clarkson Avenue. And same donation, $30. Music by DJs Jude and Small Clothes. And that's taking place on Sunday, April 27th. All right, so one on the 17th and one on the 27th. All right, so the contact, you have Kathy, and you can reach Kathy on 347-262-6818, Wendy on 917-602-1476, and Aisha at 917-520-3164. And someone was asking me about the eye clinic today. I got a message from someone asking me about the eye clinic. So remember, the eye clinic is taking place on April 14th and 15th at the Guelph Polyclinic between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. April 16th between 9 a.m. excuse me, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. at the Youth Center in St. George, and April 17th between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. at the Youth Center in St. George. Remember, 9 a.m. but get there early as possible. They have free eye exams, free eye care medications as needed, free reading and sunglasses, cataract surgeries. Yes, you must be qualified by the Ministry of Health. So I hope those of you who have to do your cataract surgeries, I hope that you have already contacted the ministry to organize yourself. Yeah? I hope that you witness. Did I say it? Yeah. I hope that you've already contacted the ministries to sort yourself out. All right? Nice. And that's going to be taking place at the General Hospital for the surgeries and so. So don't go there and say you didn't know and that kind of thing. Your doctor should have told you already, and you're organized to go get your stuff done. Or it actually worked, but I don't know if if I could have gotten audio through it, I would have taken the calls, and so at least through that machine I'd take the calls. But I'm not getting the audio to come through that machine as well. Folks, also, yeah, and I want to say I'm sorry for many of the folks that lost money in the, what do you call it again? The Creators Alliance thing that has taken place there. Folks, be very careful, especially now, with everything that you see online. Let me repeat. Be very careful with everything that you see online right now. There are many scams. In fact, while the Creators Alliance scam has ended, I'm seeing about 4 or 5 others that are there, and I'm sure 1 or 2 people are going to fall for it, because some people just don't understand that there's these quick, get rich quick things. They don't work. These people realize now that they made quite a bit of money out of Grenada. I'm pretty sure if it's not in the hundreds of thousands, it at least cross $1 million, that they made a lot of money out of Grenada. Anytime you hear one of these things and they keep asking you to get more people in it, once it's not a susu, forget them and that. Yeah? A susu, you can take chance with a susu. Once you know good people in it, you can take chance with a susu. Once you know a person has been having susu for a period of time, good people, you could go in a susu. But when it comes to things like the Creators Alliance and these things, where they ask you, okay, put in 400 and then you get 4 other people and you're going to get back more than the 400. And so it is called a pyramid scheme. No matter who it is comes to you to tell you about that, because they may not know and they may be misled as well. They may be somebody that you respect, somebody that you believe knows better, but they could also be misled in relation to this. So you have to be careful. There are so many fake things. Even when I'm going through social media these days, like Facebook and so on. Listen, I used to say 80-something%. Now the thing has gone to close to 95% of the photos and videos that you're seeing on Facebook are created using artificial intelligence. Last year, Facebook removed the guidelines that they had. In other words, Facebook, once something was not true, or they could prove that this was fake, they would put a disclaimer saying that, hey, this thing is not true, or is mostly true, whatever. They would put a disclaimer, in some instances, totally remove it off their platform. They stopped that. It's free for all now. Anybody could put anything up there. People could take a picture of you and make you like a Simpsons character. In the Simpsons, you know the thing with Bart Simpson and all of them? They could make you like a character in that. People can take a photo, create a photo out of nothing, out of thin air. You could create a photo that looks as somebody from the early 1900s or 1800s and make any claim. And there are literally millions of people doing this right now on social media. And there are those that do that to get your attention. And when you start following them, then they start to deplant. I see many individuals, even after what has been happening last week, sharing the video of the present Prime Minister of Grenada. Yes, it is a video of him, but they have used AI to make him say things that are not true. Yeah? And I'm saying this because I'm afraid that because of the amount of people that I see were gullible, and I'm not talking about 1, 2, or 3. I get fed up after a while of going on the post and telling people, stop posting, that is a scam, you're helping these people. The amount of people that were so gullible that took that and shared that, I am absolutely sure they clicked on the link and they have been compromised. The scammers most likely have their passwords and access to all their files right now because they would have clicked on that link. They definitely clicked, not would have, they definitely clicked on that link. These people also most likely have their financial information. I see one circulating again where they're saying you could make, $200 a day, contact them with your financial information. Why should you be giving anybody your finance? You know these people, you're giving them your finance, you're giving them your banking information. So be very careful. There are a lot of internet scams and people out there who are always willing to part you and your money. And let me see. Sorry, folks, because as I said, I'm operating a little differently. Yeah. So I have not been able to follow all the comments there. The other one I wanted to mention before I go back into another issue there. I've been hearing and I've also been seeing different things in relation to a chicken farm that seems to be in the doghouse. Well, I don't know if it's the chicken farm in the doghouse or what it looks like it's a chicken farm in the doghouse. And it does involve a senior government minister. And there seems to be issues, and I'm saying seems to be, although I've seen evidence that there definitely is. So I could say that there definitely is an issue as obtains to paying the workers working in that facility. I'm hearing different things about certain utility companies turning off their utilities and all of that when it comes to that particular entity. And I'm just saying, for the sake of the workers, I'm going to come to that one, my lawyer. Yeah. So there are certain entities, yeah, that is happening to, and I'm seeing on one hand the Prime Minister speaking about food security. If you're speaking about food security in Grenada, when it comes to the poultry farm, whether it's technical assistance, whether it's sending auditors to help or so on, here's a cabinet member, help him out still. Yeah? But ensure that the entity survives, because I believe that the entity is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary if you're talking food security. Because if the China-made boats can come here with the chicken, we have no chicken on the island. So in order to not have to depend on the Chinese-made boats that President Trump say you don't want passing in any place, because the ships leaving Brazil with the chicken, they're not coming in Grenada and drop the chicken. You know. The ships leaving Brazil with the chicken, going up to the United States, in the American ports, that if these are Chinese ships, they're going to have to pay what, $1 million a ship or something like that? Plus they have to pay the tariffs for that same chicken to leave the port in Miami and come down to Grenada. So they pass in Grenada and go up the road to come back down. So at a point in time like this, is not a point in time that you be playing around with your food security. Words are nice. I see the posts by the Prime Minister. I hear the words by different government ministers in relation to the issues of food security and the importance of food security. So they understand the importance of food security, it seems. But what they do not have is the ability to implement any significant measures to create food security here in Grenada. They talk a lot about agriculture, while they have significantly cut the budget in relation to agriculture. Not only have they cut the agricultural budget in the last budget, but on top of cutting it, they did not even utilize the money that they should have utilized in 2024. In the 2024 budget, they did not even utilize all the money that they had for farmers. Meanwhile, you have farmers in Maribo begging for water, going into dry season. Farmers who could have been supplying the Maribo Health Facility, farmers who could have been supplying all the schools in St. Andrew, farmers who could have been supplying the General Hospital, farmers who could be supplying the people of Grenada in general, are asking for water that your administration turned off since last year. And up to this point in time, with water flowing, overflowing, all kind of thing there, you all still can't come to an understanding with these farmers and provide them with access to the water so that they can continue to take care of themselves. What do you want them to do? Go and break people's place? No, that's the first question people are asking. What you want them to do? There's one particular farmer, all his life he has been a farmer. That is what excites him. He loves to put things in the ground and see them grow and be able to feed people and feed his family and so on. He takes a pleasure in seeing his crops develop and so. He takes a joy in that and providing food for the people. And you cut this man water supply going on a year now. Water that was provided for them in an arrangement during the time of the new National Party. In fact, I think that water, if I remember correctly, was done for them back in the days of Lorena Waldron as the MP for that area. And the arrangement was put in place so that these farmers could get the water. But it doesn't seem as though they have an MP right now, because we ain't in the MP mouth and that. We ain't in the MP. And if was to attack the new National Party and Dr. Mitchell, we'd hear the MP mouth. They'd find a voice at that point in time to be able to come and say something. But no, when it comes to these poor farmers who are trying their very best And I'm saying poor not in wealth. I'm saying poor in circumstance, because farmers could never be poor. They are rich because they're feeding everybody. If they don't feed me, we dead. Yeah, and I ain't saying that to go and rob them, and I'm saying that in context. But these farmers deserve, you can't be speaking food security on one side. Your chicken farm failing, people in your own cabinet, you don't even have enough sense to say, let us get a team of people, whether in or out of government, to work along with, and I think Grenadians generally don't, I don't think nobody would call that corruption or say something is wrong with that, because you're trying to save an entity that could provide significant income to the state of Grenada. Yeah, we know all about tax them, significant income, but also provide something to the people of Grenada that is needed at a point in time like this. But there seems to be no vision by this administration. So at a point in time, at a point in time that you should be focusing on food security, at a point in time that you should be focusing on ensuring that farmers are into more production and that they also segue into agri-manufacturing, agri-processing. At a point in time that you should be focused on that, you are farmers have to go on TV and beg to get water. And we're supposed to believe that you know what you're doing. At a point in time that you should be trying to secure a poultry project. Company come in and turn off this and that. Workers, we are saying take state money and get them, we're not saying that. We're saying at least have the wherewithal to provide the technical assistance at whatever level. Maybe there is a problem when it comes to managing finances. Maybe you could suggest something in relation to that. Maybe there's a problem with the management structure or some aspect of it. And at least you all can, through the Ministry of Agriculture or wherever, lend some assistance to try and save the project. But it shows how you all care about your own, that you would allow something like that to happen as well. And somebody was making a point a while ago in relation to the situation with the, the Nigerian. That, remember, it's the same government that when Mr. Oleg Freer came to Grenada, they put him on a plane and they sent him back and take his diplomatic passport. He had a diplomatic passport, yeah. They take back his passport and then they deport the man. Yeah. But we're not hearing right now if there are any moves to take back passport from Miss Aisha. We're not sure if the process are trying to take back any passport from her. And for those of you that joined late, let me just repeat again. I see an attempt by these individuals to try to blame the New National Party for this. They want to blame the New National Party and say, well, she got her citizenship under the New National Party. So let me just repeat again. One, according to them, I know why I'm saying according to them, she had an application in 2021, and that application was approved in late 2021 during the period of the New National Party by the then CBI committee. Notice what I said, by the then CBI committee, not the cabinet of ministers, by the then CBI committee. There was an issue as obtained to the lady and her paying for the project, because after you approved, yeah, somebody asking me if the man can run a fowl farm or he could run his own ministry, the Ministry of Health. I know, maybe he specializes in bird flu, I know. But my goodness, sorry for your constituents. But yeah, so after that, they're saying that the application was approved in 2021. So let me explain what approval is. Approval means that she has provided the documentation to the local agents. They work along with the lawyers, financial institution, all of that. And she has been cleared. They checked with Nigeria. She wasn't under any investigation. Let me repeat. They checked with Nigeria in 2021. She wasn't under any investigation at that point in time. Yeah. So there was nothing stopping her from being approved under the program outside of. After that part in the process, she had to pay her money into a project in Grenada for the final part of the process to be completed. She was unable to do so in 2021, and for the main part, the first part of 2022, because someone, how they put it, absconded with her money in Nigeria. She was using an agent in Nigeria who was working along with the agent here in Grenada, and that person, instead of turning the money over to the agent in Grenada, they ran off with her money and they never paid it into Grenada. Right. By that point in time, 6 months pass. You are supposed to review her application. That's the law. You're supposed to review her application. A review was not done of her application, but they did find, or maybe they did do it, I don't know, because they do know that by the time of the NDC coming in office, removing the CBI committee that was put in place by the new National Party, putting in place their own CBI committee now, because they say Polish man get passport, all kind of thing take place, and they moved the NNP committee. So that would say in my mind that you believe that the NNP committee was incompetent somehow, that you believe that the NNP committee wasn't doing a good job. So if you come in as a leader, you have your own committee. The same committee that was there before that had applications in place. Let's even forget that it had the 6 month stipulation there that you're supposed to review after. Let's even forget that for now. Don't forget it, but forget it for now. You should review all of the applications that are there. And at the point in reviewing the applications, they said they knew that this lady was under investigation in Nigeria. They said that she was named as part of an investigation, and the investigation was in relation to some governor. And for some reason, I have a belief that they're speaking about the same governor that came and handed a train to the Prime Minister in his office just before Ms. Aisha and Dangote and all these people start coming. The governor of Lagos State. So that there was this governor that was under investigation, and the governor was under investigation, and she was involved in the case as somebody who bought land or is accused of buying land, or they buy land from her. Some land change hands somehow. But she was part of that, and they didn't find that as a red flag. The same investigation that the Nigerian authorities looking for now is not a different investigation, you know. The same investigation that dated back to 2022. This NDC administration came in office, met her application there, knew that this woman was under investigation in Nigeria. Not another investigation, not a different one to the one that she's wanted for now. The same one that dates back to 2022 is the one that she's wanted for now. They knew that. And the present CBI committee okayed, and the present Prime Minister's signature is on the citizenship certificate of Ms. Aisha. They knew she was under investigation. They knew, they can't duck that. You all knew the lady was under investigation by the authorities in Nigeria. If you believe that the NP committee was so incompetent and so bad, because when they cleared her, there was no case against her, there were no accusations against her. The same Nigerian authorities that are looking for her now cleared her. It's not some other people that cleared her, the same people that are looking for her now in 2021 cleared her. So at that point in time, either she was not involved in any criminal activity or so, because they had nothing to say that this is a person of interest in this case or a person of interest in that case. But by the time the NDC came in with their new committee, the same individual is now the subject of an investigation, is now the subject of an investigation by the Nigerian authorities. And you all still give her a passport. You all still sent to cabinet her application, because After the person absconded with her money in 2021, she came in 2022 and she paid again. This time she paid directly herself. She paid into a project here. And then she was approved not by the new National Party administration, by the NDC administration, the same people that went Calivini Island and wind down with her. The same people that dressed up in the tuxedo and went for the fireworks. And I say Alan G was Kenny G. The same people that went over there for the multi-million-dollar party. Yes, this cabinet, not the NNP cabinet, wasn't Dr. Mitchell and them, no. It's Deacon Mitchell and them. They are the ones that went over there for the multi-million-dollar birthday party and well, enjoy yourself and all well and good to you. The fireworks, it kind of wake me up. But yeah, all well and good to you. So don't try to distance yourself from the woman now. Don't try it. It's yours. Own it. You see, this administration, this NDC administration operates in a kind of way. They operate, and I really don't like to call them children. I don't like to do it. But they operate in a childish manner. Every time you corner them on something, they just stay there and they hope that it goes away. They bury their head in the sand and hope that that problem or that statement will disappear. And then when you have people like us that bring the statement back and remind them of it, they always upset. Yeah? So whether it's you go in parliament, you say big dogs, when you're told about that in parliament, you say no, it's not that, I say it's big boys. But the Hansard is there, so the Hansard know that you lie. The people at Grenada could wind back the tape and they know that you lie. And you know I go play it and everybody go know you lie. So when you go and you say, Senator Cox's mother got building materials under the Build Back Better program and Senator Cox's mother was not even on the island of Carriacou when you say she met you and she thanked you. The lady was not on the island of Carriacou. A few days after the Hurricane Beryl, she relocated to Grenada and had been in Grenada up until quite recently. But yet still, you as the minister, in a political attack, come out and call the man, say the man mother meet you and the man mother thankful for the material she get. And when you're called out on it, you're not man enough to come and say, I apologize. I misspoke, I misunderstood. I thought my team told me and I didn't realize because I don't really know your mom. So I thought that was your mom. Or somebody tell you, boy, you don't know who is that? That's Cox Marina. And I didn't know it was not Senator Cox, was another Cox. Not even man enough to come up and admit that, hey, I made a mistake. This is the mistake I made. I'm sorry. They're not even man enough to do that when they make these mistakes. So they come, they talk about Polish man, then they get silent on it. Because you know what they want to do? These individuals are waiting until it's closer to election to come and start these talk again. Anytime you hear they start these talk on all of these kind of issues again about Polish man and this and that, tell yourself elections closer than you think, you thought before. The elections will be coming very soon. Because they are hoping to use that to stain the NNP. But if you have all this information and you know that wrongdoing took place and so on, up to this date, past halfway in your term, you talk about it within a few months of coming into office. Up to this point in time, no action can be taken. You have the FIU on a monthly basis going through all of us, various bank accounts, credit union accounts, and so on. You feel we don't know, we know. So you feel we do have family too? So we know that you have the FIU going through it a fine-tooth comb, the accounts of various people in the opposition, including myself. We know that is happening. But just remember that works two ways. I might have FIU, I might have UIF. Yeah? So this is taking place. But expect them to come now when they close to the election and they believe that it is politically expedient to do so. That is the point in time they're going to resurrect these issues. But when you call them out on different things and you tell them, hey, you're wrong here, you lied here, these people, name once you've ever seen one of them come and apologize after anything. Anybody, send a message to me. Tell me once that you've ever seen. Let me see if anybody messaged me, man. Yeah, one. Just send one. Tell me one time that you have seen these people apologize for anything that they have said or anything that they have done. Yeah? They don't apologize. They don't apologize. They just hope that you forget about it. So you could see a set of screenshots of a conversation of a very lewd nature. And within those screenshots, you see certain things that I would prefer not to have seen. You hear accusations made, and people just say, well, me ain't talking about that. Not to say, well, okay, it's not me, it's not true. Nah, Grenadian people, we don't have to tell them nothing. They just leave it there. Name one instance that you've heard these people come and apologize or say that what has been put out there is wrong. Yeah? And so I see some questions coming there, but yeah, folks, I can't answer that one on air. Yes. Yes, Joyce, I know. Yes. I know. Election hot in Trinidad, so I know. All right, yes. And yes, I can view the chat. Yes, folks. So if you do send a WhatsApp message, someone was asking me. Yes, I can. So if you send a message to me on the WhatsApp, I can see the WhatsApp from where I am. I'm surprised the video has not been sticking, though. The internet seems to be very stable. So let's hope that it keeps that way for the remainder of the program tonight. And yes, I am aiming tomorrow night to try and get the ability to take your phone calls, even if just by WhatsApp at the beginning and then the direct line, but at least to be able to take your WhatsApp calls. I am working hard to see if I can have that done by tomorrow so that I'll be able to take your calls, we'll be able to speak with each other and so on, and I'll be able to take your calls. And so one of the problems I'm having is that while you all can hear me, I can't hear myself through the system. I can hear myself because I'm talking, but I can't hear myself through the system itself as it is right now. Yeah, but I am working to solve that problem so that I'll be able to take the calls. Other than that, I would have been able to take the WhatsApp calls from you, but I can't take the WhatsApp calls as it is right now. But I'm working and realize I'm using a different mic tonight, all of that, because I can't hook up my mic yet. So I have one or two things that we're putting together here. Yes, indeed. Yeah, folks. So as it is right now, tell them, anytime they come with that talk, because I know they want to push that talk and say, well, look, the lady was approving, no, try that. Whose signature is on her certificate? Yeah? What? So somebody just tell me, so the Prime Minister is now claiming that the documentation that they're talking about they can't find is the 3D documentation. In other words, the documentation of the ocean floor that the people who are seeking to drill for oil in Grenadian waters, that they would be able to access. That's what we're talking about. Brother Deacon Mitchell, you lie. GPG, before you even swear in a cabinet, GPG, their representative in Grenada, approach you with all of that information. All of that information. And you cannot say, if I lie, sue me. You, Deacon and Miss Mitchell, if I lie right now, sue me. My address is Frequente St. George. But don't come in my landlord place. Call me, I'll come and collect it. You are claiming that you didn't get the treaty. First one. The treaty information together with all other information in relation to oil and gas that was being held concurrently by the government had theirs and GPG had theirs. GPG, before you even swear in a cabinet, approach you with those documentation. Their representative in Grenada on behalf of them approached you and offered all those documents to you. Secondly, even without you accepting at that point in time, they made sure and they sent documents over to you. Even without you saying, yes, go ahead, bring the documents and so. They provided documentation to you. Secondly, Mr. Gregory Clarence Bowen, I use the whole name tonight. Gregory Clarence Bowen. Your people contacted him in relation to these oil and gas documents. Yourself and himself, all you, had a conversation in relation to oil and gas documents. Mr. Bowen, working along with your people that you seconded to work along with him on that issue, found all of the documents where they were always, not in Mr. Bowen's house, not in Mr. Bowen's car. They found all of them in the government of Grenada cabinet, in the government of Grenada ministry, on the government of Grenada compound. Not in Mr. Bowen's place, not in any other member of the New National Party house, business place, wherever. They found it where? You found it because you said you break the lock, because you all couldn't find the key, so you just break the lock. And you availed yourself of all the documentation. So, GPG provided you with the documentation. And Mr. Gregory Clarence Bowen, former Member of Parliament for St. George Southeast, former Minister of Government, provided you and your folks with directions to the documents where they were in the government cabinet, in the government office, on the government compound, under government lock and key, not in the homes of the NNP. But yet still, for vindictive reasons, because we know you all don't like Mr. Gregory Bowen for whatever, you all just hate him, you don't like him. Yeah, and everybody go like everybody, but you all don't like him. But the gentleman now is placed in a position that my God, the gentleman is placed in a position now. Now, Mr. Bowen is more than qualified to work with the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. He could work with various international agencies, the Caribbean Development Bank, regional institutions, Carriacou, even the OECS. He could work with any of them. He has his family to take care of, and he could work with any of them. He's more than qualified and competent. We've seen members of the New National Party team who have ascended to roles in the United Nations. So you have Mr. Simon Steele that is there. So we have more than enough competent people within the NNP, and Mr. Bowen is one of the most competent. So he could fall in anywhere. And instead of clearing the man's name so that he could go ahead with his life, that he could go now and get a job with one of these institutions, if he applies for any opening with these institutions now, they're going to say no. But the government of Grenada has this up over your head. Files are missing, all these files are missing, this missing, that missing, and so on, and they're calling your name with it. Because all of the accusations that were made about Mr. Bowen with all kind of thing before, none of them have resulted in anything else except somehow a losing case in court for defamation. That's all it has resulted in. And this particular one continues. There was a throne speech where the Governor General of Grenada claimed that the documents were missing. Mr. Gregory Bowen was a lying minister. So when you're saying the documents missing, you're accusing him of removing the documents. You're accusing him of destroying or hiding the documents. You're accusing him of disappearing the documents. How would you feel if your children are going about their daily business, people know that it's your children, and come to them and talking about your father thief documents, tell him bring it back? How would you feel as a father? That people go to that because we have some people that have no sense. You have some people that have no sense. Don't go wrong with children. Tell me where you tell me leave my children alone. I come into you. So don't go wrong with your child. Pay the money in the court. Don't go wrong with children. But it have some people have no sense and doing things like that. And not once or twice. It is a constant thing. Even recently, you had an individual making talk to another senior person within the NNP about, well, they don't bring back the documents for oil and gas. When this government has the oil and gas documentation. And you know, it goes back to the point I was making a short while ago. That these individuals feel they're too big, they will never apologize for anything. So they just say anything. They throw anything at NNP. They throw anything at people out there. And then, when you prove them wrong, when you prove that they lie, when you bring forward the factual information, these people don't have the common decency or morality to stop acting like a political jabal and come out and say that, hey, I lie, I was wrong. All you want to know is a political jabal? Ask St. Lucian, they'll tell you. Yeah, ask them is a political jabal. A politique jabal. Because that's what these people are acting like. Say you're sorry. They would not even admit that GPG representative. And GPG is one thing, but a representative looking after the interests of Grenada, you know. The representative looking after the interests of Grenada. They could have said, well, to hell with this incoming administration, me ain't going by them with nothing, forget them. But they went to the Prime Minister. They didn't wait for the Prime Minister to call them. They went to Deacon and Miss Mitchell and said, we're willing to provide you with all documentation, everything you're looking for, to give them an update on where we at and everything. They went to give all that information to him. GPG still sent information afterwards. They still sent information afterwards. And even with all of that, you had Throne speech coming out, oil and gas documentation is a mystery. You still have, now you're hearing, because remember, the same GPG is the same one that the person in charge of. And let me just make this point, because somehow you always forget. Remember at a point in time, the then Minister of Finance, Mr. Nazim Berg, made the accusation that some threatening messages were sent to him and that they originated from a Russian email address. And he made those statements, and the inference that most Grenadians gained from those statements at that point in time, the NDC was in office. I cannot remember the exact year, but it may have been 2009 or 2010, because I think it was around the time that NDC government was negotiating with the Trinidad government in relation to boundary delimitation. And the accusation was made that his life is in danger. And now you form a committee and asking him to work along with the same people that most people believe are the ones he was speaking about, when he was accusing people from a Russian email address, a Russian IP address, sorry, not email, but IP address, Internet Protocol, that when they traced the emails, the threatening emails, they came from a Russian IP. So already, there's in his mind, if what we believe is true, that, hey, these people wanted to kill me. Because that was the accusation. Unfounded, you know. Unfounded. Because one minute you have a bunch of police surrounding your place like if you was the Prime Minister, next minute you're driving around by yourself. SSU and them can't sleep nighttime, that to go and guard your place. Next 2 minutes you're good, you're going about. But these were the people that you inferred were the ones that were sending threats to you. And then you end up in charge of oil and gas to deal with these same people. We know what will happen with them. Or what you're going to attempt to happen with them. Yeah, different lawyers to deal with them. Good luck. But we know what you're going to attempt to do. Because there's a preconceived notion in your head and there's beef. Well, this is more than beef, this is more like horse meat. You ain't eating that, but that is giraffe meat or rhino meat or something. There's more than beef. Going back several years in relation to the same individuals, many people may forget that. I ain't forget it. I ain't forget it at all. I remember when the accusations were made. So it doesn't surprise me when I see these people coming on TV to dingole now about documents missing. Mr. Nazimberg, what credibility you have in this matter? Seriously and really and truly. I'm asking a question here. What credibility you really have in this matter of oil and gas and so? You are the same person that had the worst to say about CBI, and now you're a CBI local agent, you know. What credibility you really have? You didn't even come back and say as man, hey, you know I said all these things about the CBI, but I was wrong. I'm sorry. CBI is a good program. No, you just quietly, you go, you register a CBI company, and now you're making the CBI dollars. All power to you, brother. I was in Parliament with you at the point in time that we passed the CBI Act. I remember everything that you said in relation to CBI at that point in time. Everything. And the Hansard is there. The recordings are there. I remember everything you said in relation to CBI at that point in time. But understanding the individual, I wasn't shocked when I saw them become a CBI agent. But again, it goes back to the point I've been making. These people don't ever say sorry. Yeah, these people don't ever say sorry. So you make all your statements about Grenada passport selling like fish cake. Then you buy oil, you go and you get saltfish, you get flour, you get egg, you get thing, and you go and you're making your own fish cake now. You find Grenada was selling too much fish cake, so you go and you start to make your own fish cake now. Yeah, Accra in retail. You do the same thing, but again, it is a mindset amongst these individuals that they do not ever apologize. To err is human. Simply come out to the people and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm wrong. No, they're hoping that people forget that. And then the absolute worst part of it is that these people come and repeat the lie, you know. They come back and they repeat it again. So while you're there and you're saying, but these people and them, they ain't coming and take, they're repeating the lie again. They're repeating it because they want you to believe it, even though it has already been debunked. They're repeating it. And I'm saying again, when it comes to the issue of the oil and gas documents, the Prime Minister needs to be a man and stand up and admit that Mr. Bowen assisted them to find the documents they were looking for. And that GPG also provided early on access to the same documents that they're saying they cannot find. Be a man. Come out and admit that what you said was wrong. That what you all did and are still doing to Mr. Gregory Bowen is wrong. The time will come. Time will come because he assisted you all in relation to the other matter, the Kimpton Kawana issue too. He assisted you, you all come, you ask him for assistance in relation to it. He assisted, the man sit down, he didn't say nothing. You all ask him for assistance in relation to documents. As a Grenadian who is proud of his country and wants to assist in whatever way possible and know that there's no hanky-panky and corruption involved in it, he stepped forward and he assisted. But you all still have it out there like if the man is some kind of criminal. You still have it out there as though he's some sort of criminal. And then now I see all kind of statements being made about one of your ministers receiving $150,000 as payments for a diplomatic passport that has not been provided to the individual, and now who is threatening to release the information and so on. Yeah? And I'm hearing that the same individual who is saying that now, that individual was served with documents last week. A single mother, as far as I know, I don't believe that individual is employed, was served with documents last week to immediately pay a certain amount of money or to be taken to the prison. I know all they intend to do with your little children when she's in prison because she alone. But to take this woman to prison. Yeah? Simply because she has been giving the government a bit of trouble online. In the same way that she used to be giving the NNP administration trouble online. I was the brunt of some of it. But what you're doing to a young mother is wrong. And simply because she served the Prime Minister last week with pre-action, from what I'm hearing. That is what the streets say. She served the Prime Minister, so they send the institution behind her and tell her that this thing was tried in the court behind she back and she had to pay immediately or go to jail. So it's strange that last week, from the legal end, the Prime Minister received something from her, and this week, all they're going after her like that. And again, you know what's going to happen? All of this go done, and they still would not say sorry. Because these people do not understand the importance of saying sorry. They lack that genetic material within us as Grenadians that usually would operate to tell us, hey, you've done something wrong, you need to apologize. You ain't too big to say you're sorry. Apparently, that piece of genetic material has been decoded from these individuals. And folks, as I wrap up tonight, I didn't even realize it's that close to 10. But as I wrap up tonight, I want to just remind you all of this. You look at what's taking place with the stock market in the United States. Look carefully at what's taking place there, but not just the United States. The world over. You have World War I, you have World War II, this is World War III. It's not bullets and bombs, it's tariff and tariff. Yeah, it's a trade war. And we, the little ants down here, them elephants fighting, and as the Africans say, when the elephants fight, the grass and the ants that us feel it. And the elephants fighting right now is China and the United States, and the United States versus everybody else on the earth. And we are the ones that are going to feel it. Those are you that usually bring your stuff in from the United States via the vessels and so on. If the vessels were built in China, you're going to feel it. You're going to see the cost of bringing in a container might go up. One of the estimations I was seeing on a particular program, I believe was in the figure of $2,000 to $3,000. You see, Grenada has been slapped with a tariff, a reciprocal tariff by the United States. I believe I saw an article earlier where Kenya removed their tariffs to the United States so that the United States goods could enter Kenya and Kenya's goods could go to the United States without any tariffs. Yeah? I think it's President Emerson, whatever his name is, has done. Well, at least you know you have to be very careful when you see things on social media. So I have to double check that one. But they have slapped tariffs. Some people are saying they slap tariffs on places that don't even have human beings, penguins alone living there, but they know what they're doing. They put the tariffs on those places, so just in case the country that lays claim to there decides that they're going to operate from that zone as an autonomous zone, that they run the penguins and they build a factory there, and they decide that they're supplying things to the United States, that you still have a tariff on you. You can't get away by going to that isolated location and doing your factory or whatever. They block you all over. They ain't crazy. They know very well what they're doing. And as such, small islands like this can't be having farmers without water. Don't worry, I ain't have to run and catch no bus. I'll finish just now. Small farmers cannot be in a situation where they're wondering where they're getting water from. You can't have small farmers and large farmers in that situation, especially on the cusp of the dry season, knowing full well what happened to the dry season last year, where we had a reduction in agricultural output for the year 2024, especially due to the harsh dry season and the closure of the Marketing and National Importing Board, which is affecting production as well. And up to this day, we cannot hear about the new entity, like they want to open a new entity the day before election. Well, they're fooling with that. It was supposed to be June last year, now we ain't nothing. But folks, this is Grenada in 2025, and as such, we have to prepare. If you could plant something, plant it. If you could grow something, grow it. And that said, it's very sad to see the situation with that young man that lost his animals. My heart goes out to him, the one who they killed his animal and so on. And I just say to that young man, if anybody knows him, please don't put yourself in trouble. Don't put yourself. I saw somebody on Talking Points willing to donate a sheep for him or a goat for him. I know it has somebody on Talking Points just to keep him out of trouble, because it go hurt my heart. And the police, if you can, please do what you could do to find out what took place there. We know it's difficult, but at least give some satisfaction to the young man. Because the anger that I saw from him today, I don't know if many of you saw that video, but I can't play it, too much bad one. But the anger I saw in him today for the person that basically murdered his animal, that they stole 13 from him last year. He said 13 animals they stole from him. He bought one, sat in the bill back himself, and they killed it. At a point in time that just now you ain't sure if you could get any meat products coming from overseas. And if it does come, when it comes, the price is going to be so jacked up that we're going to find ourselves balling. But yet still you have people killing people, animals. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight for Talking Points. Again, it's Talking Points with a bit of a difference, because we are not in studio as we usually are. We are in a different studio. Well, you could call it the new studio. At least for a time being. This will be the new studio. So folks, in everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott, and I am out of here. Do enjoy the rest of your night tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night, God's willing, with more Talking Points. Hope everything works nearly as well as it worked tonight, or even better tomorrow, and that we might be able to take some calls. So do enjoy the rest of your night tonight.
God, save your servant who trusts in